My name is Caleb Churchill, owner and partner at Pete's Bar and Grill here in Albany, Indiana. Pete's has a very, very rich history. The building we're currently in, at one point was a gas station. The gas station kind of became more of a food place, and then it turned into a place called the Green Duck. Phil Peterson, Pete, purchased it, had been 36 years ago, and he ran it for 32. So we're currently starting our 5th year here in Albany as Pete's Bar and Grill. And one of the reasons I wanted to take it over is because he had a nice, rich history of clientele, and he was just ready to retire. So we took over the challenge. I would say right off the bat, Pete had a ton of regulars, and they were, bar stool sitting guys that got off work and came in here and drank Budweiser, Coors Light or Miller Lite or Pabst or whatever it was. Pete really catered to them. If you drank vodka and Diet 7-Up, he made sure he had 7 Diet 7-Up here for that one person. And so that was hard for us in a sense of their clientele was so used to, it was their bar. And I was very adamant when I purchased the business that we're not a bar. We're a restaurant that has a bar. We have 6 to 7 seats at the bar to where Pete's had 25. So that kind of ticked a lot of people off, just in the sense of like, you took my bar away, because you've got to travel another 10 minutes in either direction to find another bar. And a lot of them they lived half a mile away from here. So a lot of those guys didn't like it. If you're buying an existing business that has a rich culture, like I did, I spent 3 months in here and nobody knew I was buying the place. And I would just come in randomly and just listen to conversations and listen to the culture that's already there. And how can I add to that culture? You don't want to take the culture away, but at the same time, you can make that culture a little better. And that was one of the most important things for me. Again, not alienating the people of Albany so that they can't. We're one of the only restaurants that sit down here in town, literally. You've got to go 20 to 25 minutes in either direction to find a sit-down restaurant. There's 2, or if you count Pizza King, there's 3 in here in town. So again, not alienating our customer, but actually listening to our customer. And I took his sales and I said, okay, these are 5 things that aren't going to leave. Polish mistakes, frog legs, a tenderloin, the ribs. Those are things that's what he did. And he had a great catering company. For the first 3 years of catering company, we didn't change the menu at all, because I needed to capture his clientele for us to grow more clientele. Because you don't want to walk in and put your fist down and this is my business and I'm going to do what I want to do with it. No, you got to do what your customers want you to do with it. Our motto here is good friends and good food. If you're coming here, you're coming here for a reason. When you see me walking around on a Friday and Saturday night and I'm looking at plates, I'm not just coming up to a table and how was everything and doing the normal corporate manager thing. It's, one of my favorite things to do here is if I see a kid on an iPad, which is typical when you walk into a restaurant. I bought some like 18th century toys, and one's like the horseshoe with the ring on it. And I'll give away a free dessert for the kid if he can get it off. And the rest of the night, he's off his iPad. And he's interacting with his parents. His parents are interacting with him. Those are things to me that are the reasons I own a restaurant. Yes, it's the food. Yes, it's the customers. But it's the interaction, the personalness that I get with my customers. That welcoming stance of, you're not just another customer to me. You're who puts food on my kids' table. So the number one focus with anybody buying a pre-existing, whether it's a restaurant or a tech company or whatever, you got to maintain your current clientele for you to grow another clientele. Now, as business evolves, the clientele shifts, things like that happen. But if you try to change that and shift it right off the bat, now you're starting from scratch with all clientele versus here's a base clientele and let's grow onto that.